Happy holidays to everybody.
You sound great.
Yeah, I don't feel very good. It's been 12 days, can't get rid of the cough, and just trying to stay away from the players that are playing good and get real close to the ones that are playing bad. Makes my decisions a lot easier.
Coach, do you have an update on Kobe White?
He'll play. Yeah, he's practiced all week. Times we've practiced anyway, he's been there, and he hasn't been limited or anything.
Coach, can you walk him through, since we played last Wednesday against Wilmington, what days you've been able to practice? And
Jesus, I can't remember. I've been across the United States twice. I remember that part. We played Wilmington on Wednesday. We gave them, Steve, I have no idea.
I think we went Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, we gave them Thursday and Friday off. We practiced maybe Saturday off. We practiced Sunday and Monday, gave them Tuesday and Wednesday off, and practiced yesterday, I think is what it was. Does that sound right? Yeah.
You said the Sunday practice was going to be the best practice in the history of the organized world. Did you get that?
Didn't quite reach my goal. It didn't quite reach my goal, but I think Sunday and Monday, I think both those were okay days. You know, yesterday was not a good practice, but it was a terrible job by me as a head coach. Today's going to be really good. Today will be really good.
Right. 3 of your current players signed the open letter against the current plan for Silent Sam. How do you feel about their willingness, and several of your former players too? Mm-hmm. Have you talked to them about it? How do you feel about their taking a stand on that? And as an alum, how do you feel about the way the university's handling things?
That's a lot of questions there in one.
Let's get it all right.
That's right. Which 3? I know Garrison and KJ.
And Brandon Robinson signed today.
How I feel about it, I think, was the first. I'm not bothered by it at all. I've talked to our guys about it, told them if they feel strongly about it, go right ahead. I think it's their individual rights, and I think they should if they feel strongly about it. Just as always, you guys have heard me just say, don't surprise me. And I know that Garrison and KJ had signed it as of yesterday, so B-Rob might have done it later yesterday. You know, it's a touchy issue. It's a hard issue, and it's an easy issue. I mean, it really is. It's something that we've talked about on multiple occasions. As an alum, as a graduate, as a coach, I've got to have many different views on the things, but it's a very divisive thing, and I hate that we have anything that's divisive on our campus or involved in our institution. The one I feel the most pain for is our chancellor, because she's in a no-win situation. I think she has her own individual beliefs, but she's required by law to act or react in a certain situation. She's the one I feel the most for. In my mind, my own personal opinion is I wish we didn't have a situation where we're putting it back on campus. I don't know what everybody's motivation was in the early 1913, but right now it's a very divisive issue, and I wish it would go away, but I'm sure that there's other people that feel that way as well. I don't know what that motivation was at that time. I read those remarks at that time, and they were not very good remarks, which leads me to be stronger in the idea of that I don't think we should have it. But we are, not we, because I'm not making any of the decisions, I assure you. I think that the chancellor's hands are a little bit tied about what to do with it. I don't know what's going to happen. There's a meeting today. Maybe it started last night, or I think it's still going on today. It'll be interesting to see what those people say about it. But as far as my players being involved, if they feel that way, I have zero problems. I'm glad they're expressing themselves, and they have the right to have those feelings, just like I have the right to have my feeling. I wish it wasn't here.
How is Coach Smith's legacy and that sort of thing, did that shape the way that you go about handling these sorts of things? I know some coaches try to kind of shy away from things like this.
Not really. I mean, Coach did the right thing. I think what I'm saying is right for me, so this is America. I can say, how can anybody say I'm wrong? But I do think there's individual rights and freedoms, and I really do. I just tell my guys, don't surprise me with anything. Let me know, and then let's talk about it. And I know we've talked about it as a staff, but I think we've talked to the team about it twice, and including yesterday. And the purpose of that was about the letter from the SAC, Eric. Yeah. But no, I don't think I was driven by Coach Smith's stance at that time. But I was driven by what my background, my mother, my high school coach, and Coach Smith. You have the right to your own individual beliefs, and that's okay to say those. So.
Do you think your players through this are kind of becoming aware of the power they can wield when they want to take a stand on something like that?
People talk about the power you can wield, but I'm not sure what that is. I think you have the right to state your beliefs. I don't know if one person has any more power than anybody else. I know people talk about that all the time, but still there's a law out there. I think that's, in my own personal belief, period, okay? I think that it would be best for it not to be here, and I think some of those people in the decision-making business would rather it not be here, but the only people that can change that are the ones that make the laws. And I don't know, I haven't spoken to those people about it.
When you say that you guys have talked about it, is it just the extent of, I don't want to be surprised, so if you guys are going to do something like this, make sure I know in advance, or do you actually go into it and kind of let them sort of express themselves and kind of air that out?
A little bit of both. I tell them exactly what I think, and there's no way in Hades this guy sitting to my left would let me say exactly what I think. So, but I tell them, I'm straightforward. Tell the truth. You don't have to remember what you said. It's a pretty easy deal, but we talk about it.
Coach,
Did I get that?
I think that was everything.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we do play. Who we
there's
play
the
tomorrow?
awkward transition. Yeah, I want to ask you about Gonzaga.
Yeah.
They're a very balanced team on the court. What have you seen out of them on tape? And they have also got a number of upperclassmen as well. How difficult have they been to prepare for?
Very difficult for us as a staff to prepare for. They remind me of some of our really, really good teams. Who knows what's going to happen by the end of the year, but I think they're better than their team in 17. Now, they may not go as far. They may win the whole thing, but we haven't given our team a lot of stuff yet because we usually wait and do that the day before the game. But they can score inside, they can score outside, they can score in a half court. They push the ball and score in transition. They defend you man-to-man. They defend you zone. They rebound the ball. They stop you from rebounding the ball. They're shooting over 50%. They've made more free throws than their opponents have attempted. They're holding people to the low 30s. So we've had some teams like that and some teams that were really good. And it's a good feeling to have that you don't really have any weaknesses. I think Perkins is really playing at a high level. I think maybe it's one of theirs or one of Steve's. I think he has more assists than anybody in the country. He's averaging 8 a game. Eric, would you mind getting me a Sprite Zero, sir? Yep. I'll ask Steve to pay you later. Brandon Clark, that was, if you guys watched, did anybody see that block against Tennessee? Oh my gosh, I hadn't seen many like that. That was one of the most amazing blocks I've ever seen. And Hachimura is just a scorer, scoring inside, outside. I saw his game-winning basket against Washington. They really, thanks, sir. Is this one's going to explode when I open it?
We heard it.
Okay, thank you.
Catch drove it outside, it seems like.
But they have guys coming off the bench that really help them. It's a formidable task trying to see if we can figure out some way to beat them.
When you beat them in Phoenix, after the game, did you have the chat with Mark about your time is coming? And did Boeheim have that with you?
Boeheim told me, Jimmy's a good friend. We played a lot of golf over the years and poker on the coaches' trips and other things. But I told him in 2003, I was very happy for him. I was sad for my team. And he said, "You'll get one of yours." And So when we won it against Bruce Weber, my first thing is how everybody was celebrating, and I had to chase him off the court because I'd let him get by me. He had stood there for a second. Everybody was jumping around. So I ran down and shook his hand and apologized to him. He said, "No, go enjoy." And I said, "No, I should have had a better attitude and realized what was going on." And shook his hand at that time. I didn't say that to him. Tommy, when we beat them in Detroit, the game was sort of ours most of the game, and it wasn't a lot of drama, but I told him how much I respected him. He had already won one himself, so I didn't say it to him. But Mark, I wanted to make sure that I got there, because the year before, the confetti comes down before we can even get off the floor. And so I went up to him, and it was amazing because I didn't plan it. I just said, "I'm so happy we won, but I'm so sad it was against you." And he said, "Oh, no, don't." I said, "No, Mark, I really am. I know how you feel. I've been in your shoes." I said, "You will get one, but I know how you feel right now," because he's a great friend. We've had some good times together, good times on the phone, good times trying to get him arrested, all kinds of good stuff. So
you've been frustrated a couple of times in postgame about defense. Now that you've had maybe some time to look at what the team's done so far, what do you think they're doing? What are you most pleased with defensively, and what are you most bothered by with what your group does defensively?
Well, I'm not pleased defensively yet, so I can't answer that because there's nothing there. We just got to get better defensively. You can defend people several ways. You can steal their ball and make them turn it over and go down, or you can hold them to a low percentage and not give them any second shots. And we've been sort of in the middle of everything with it. We haven't hung our hat on anything that we're doing really, really well. The teams earlier in the year, they shot a poor percentage against us, but I think a lot of times they just miss shots, and I like to play defense where we cause some of those things to happen. So we're still trying to figure out how we're playing defense, what we're going to do defensively, and trying to find a way to play defensively that will fit this team. And we talked a second about 2009. I mean, Ty Lawson had 8 steals in the national championship game. We haven't had 8 steals hardly as a team yet. And then yet also we had Tyler could block shot. Ed Davis could really block some shots. Sean May could block shots. But that team was really good. We could get out and we could switch a lot of people. So we're still working on that part of it. But we got to get better in every single phase of the game defensively.
Is there an element you think that this group can, that you see can?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's you have to wait until you play in the opponents who are sort of like you, that they're gifted. And, again, that's the reason I always say when we win, when we should win, we're better. But you got to wait and see how successful you are when you're playing somebody that's similar to you. And so far we've played, now we played well defensively at Wofford. Kenny Williams was unbelievable at Wofford. But then the other games like that, the Texas and UCLA in the second half we were good defensively. Michigan, we were never good defensively. So I don't know that some people may be smarter than I am, but right now I can't tell you exactly how we're going to figure it out.
Where does it begin? And if you get that, do you think it kind of trickles down and everything else sort of falls into place?
They've got to understand the importance to it, I think, is the first part. I always say don't guard people like you want to be guarded. It's pretty easy to figure out. If a guy bothers you when you got the ball and you don't like it, well, that's why you should guard other people. And so they've got to figure that part of it out. And it's not just the want to. It's probably number one. But you got to have the lateral quickness. You've got to be able to have great vision to see what's happening, see man and ball at the same time. You got to build habits to get away from your man. So I think we're going to get better. And if you look, most of our teams really have gotten better defensively. And the one that always comes to mind was 2009. We weren't very good defensively, but then at the end, those last 10 or 12 games, we were as good as any team I've ever coached defensively.
Strong team coming in tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Wondering, how do you go about putting together your non-conference schedule? How does that? What factors do you consider?
If you ask my assistants, they think I wait until the top 10 is selected and then call all those people or call the Golden State Warriors or something. But they get mad at me all the time. I said, I got us another game. So I think it was Steve Robinson, Golden State Warriors. I said, yeah, they just look like Gonzaga. I like to play tough schedules. I like to play true road games. I like to find out a lot about your team early, even though sometimes it's not good what you find out. But the scheduling by the ACC is making it more difficult. When we go from 18 to 20, I won't play nearly as many of the big-time national-type games. I asked a guy one time in the TV world, I said, would you rather have North Carolina in the last place team in the ACC or North Carolina against Kentucky? And they said, oh, North Carolina against Kentucky. I said, well, you're going to lose those, because we're not going to do those as many. But I do think you need to really challenge people. And it's shoes on the other foot. I remember Eddie Faulkner and I told Coach Smith one night we won big here. I said, well, that was okay, wasn't it? Eddie said, yeah, Coach, that was all right, wasn't it? Because I felt like we'd played the Bataan Death March up until that point. And but now I'm the head coach, I sort of like that better.
What's the timing? When do you start looking for games? When you have some holes.
It depends. I mean, this one right here, Mark and I had talked about playing, and I can't tell you exactly when he called. He said, he said, I would really like to come and play. And I said, okay, let's do it. And we got Clint involved, and it's probably just a year ago or
There's
so.
a PK80 on stage.
Yeah, okay.
In Oregon.
Yeah, in Oregon. And thank you, that was good.
Yeah, once all.
That's right. So a lot of it's like that, but I do silly things. I mean, I called Fran Dunphy, I may have told you this, at Temple, and said, would you be interested in playing us? And this is when I was at Kansas. I said, we'll come there first. He said, Roy, I've never gotten this kind of phone call. And I said, well, my radio announcer said he called a game everywhere in the country, great places except the Palestra. So I said, well, we'll take you to the Palestra. So I'll do some silly things, but I do like playing. Good coaches, good teams, good programs.
With the schedule going to 20 games, and I think the Big Ten's playing 20 now too, it might be a move other big conferences make. Would you be in favor of adding a game or two to the schedule so you guys can have more of those non-conference opportunities?
No, we got enough games. I mean, the season's long enough. But, I mean, I just hate to think about how much time I've been on the court or how much time I've not been off the court, or not been on the court. I think we have enough games. We start now, you have the hot dogs on July 4th, you start practicing the next day, and then you get finished and you go hide Easter eggs, and then it's July 4th again. I don't think, to me, why are we playing 20 games, 22 games, 28? There was a big debate. I'll probably get in trouble for this. There was a big debate about, football going to one more conference game, and then all of a sudden, they're not doing it, and we weren't even asked. It was just all of a sudden, oh, we are. And we'd already said 188 million times that I wasn't in favor of it, and the whole group was like that, but it's what it is. And so I play it and shut up, but that doesn't mean you got to be quiet all the time.
Coach, I've never been to Australia.
I had a guy tell me that, and I took a team. We played 12 games in 18 days.
He's already done it.
That's how it starts.
We
12
haven't
games.
covered a game at Tahiti.
Yeah, New Zealand. I've been to New Zealand. We may try that.
Roy, you mentioned Brandon Clark's, you referenced his athleticism. Hachimura has had success taking people off the dribble. That type of matchup, and those guys are so athletic, is this one of the games where the ability to play small and play big is especially beneficial?
Well, we hope so. We'll try to find out, because we got to see how we can match up with them, because they all cause you problems, and hopefully some things might be a little advantage on our end as well. But one of the advantages we have is Luke, for example, is a four-man going out on the court. Well, their guys go out there and guard you, because they're very athletic, and their big guys get it off the board and push it down, act like they're guards. And I think Clark he's only shot 2, but I think he's 2 for 2 from three-point line. And one of the big kids coming off the bench is shooting 40%, so they really do create a lot of problems for you. But we'll play both ways and see if we can find something that helps us.
Time for a couple more.
Just had a clarification on a Silent Sam question. You said you don't want the statue.
See, you told me it was.
Well,
That's all right.
I just want to make sure that it's clear. You said you don't want it here. Does that mean you're against the proposed idea to build a whole different building?
So you're trying to get me in trouble with the Board of Governors and everything.
I just want to make sure we have it facts straight.
I thought it was pretty clearly said.
You don't want to hear.
Is that not what I said? Okay. I've got
Anybody
it.
else?
Is there enough time for you and Mark to pile into a car and head out to Cherokee?
It's too long a trip. The other one was 23 miles. This one would probably be in the neighborhood of 270. Yeah. We all lost that night. It didn't make any difference. We all lost money. The casino did well. But I did try to get him arrested, but it didn't work. Anybody else?
Wait, well, playing Beeline, playing few, are there coaches out there that you really enjoy having your guys go against and see certain things?
Yeah. You know, and John's one, Izzo's one, Lon Kruger's one, but those are also really my good buddies. And, you know, in our league, I mean, you play Buzz's teams, you play Jimmy's teams, you play Mike's teams. I mean, you face a lot of things, but I don't know how to say this. I like to watch the game. You know, I don't think it's just made for us over there. People talking about playing chess. You know, I played chess a lot when I was 12, 13, 14 years old. I don't think I played one game of chess since I started coaching. But, you know, we work every day to try to figure out some way to try to do some things and see if that matches. And sometimes you have to make some adjustments. They do things to surprise you. But I do enjoy playing big games, and those big games are usually coached by really good guys. And but I've told you on the stuff, the FBI, I happen to think that the huge majority of coaches I really do like and do things the right way, and I enjoy being with them. I don't enjoy playing their teams. I don't mind coaching against anybody. It's just if I give them bad players, I'd like to coach against all of them that way. So, and I'm not trying to be harsh on the issue, but, you know, I did feel like I'd stated what I felt like. Thanks, guys.
Get Cameron in here.